So someone simply asked how to enter this onto the screen. So we want to draw this graph, and so we want to first determine the asymptotes. The vertical asymptote would be, let me see if I can scoot this over and hopefully not add too much time. Oops. Vertical asymptote would be setting the denominator equal to 0 to determine when the function would be undefined, right, because we're dividing by 0. So I would have negative 2x equals negative 2 because I subtract 2 from both sides, and then I get x equals 1. So at x equals 1, I get the vertical asymptote. So x equals 1 will be the vertical asymptote. There it is. Okay, but I have to place the dot associated with the horizontal asymptote as well. And the horizontal asymptote is the ratio of negative 4 over negative 2. Since the degrees of these two x's are the same, and so I get negative 4 over negative 2, which is 2. So the horizontal asymptote is at 2. And so I would place that, and there are your asymptotes. Now, how do you figure out if my function looks like this or if it looks like this? I am not aware of any better way than to do the following. You have to take this function and substitute in some value, and you would choose a value that would be close to the vertical asymptote. So in this case, I would choose 1.1. Well, I wouldn't choose 1.1. I would choose 2 because that's an integer, easier to do the math. And what I'm trying to do is figure out if the answer that I get when I put 2 in there is greater than 2, right? Because it would be that red point would be greater than y equals 2, greater than the horizontal asymptote, or whether it's less than 2, then it would be down here. So let's do that. F of 2 is equal to negative 4 times 2 plus 8. Negative 2, oops, that's poorly done, but whatever. I think it's good enough. That's negative 8 plus 8. That's a big fat 0. So it doesn't even matter what happens down here. I get 0, right? So that means we get this function here. And so we know the exact value at x equals 2. This function is equal to 0. Boom, there it is. And it should look like that. Okay? Or if I submit it, it should be green, right? Boom, green, green, green. All right, hope that helps. Where's my thing? There it is.